Hello everybody, how is it going today? Today is March the 15th, it's about 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin. So this is how my charts always look, guys, when I first open them up. There's always so much going on in my charts. Let's clear up these charts and let's talk about what's been going on. And let's actually talk about it from the beginning, just to catch everybody up. I like to be very thorough in my tactical analysis. I don't expect everybody to follow and keep up with everything going on, right? Because it's just way too many videos that I put out. I think that I produce more videos than people can actually keep up with. So let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's first of all open the CoinMarketCap that I'm just opening up on my other monitors here. Okay, let's go with CoinMarketCap. So in the morning, we were at about $303 billion, and we can see that the 24-hour volume is now substantial, guys. Congratulations, everybody. If you bought in at the 7,600 range, you are on fire right now, okay? You guys are doing incredibly well. I actually took my profit already. Actually, I'm going to explain to you guys what I actually did, okay? Let's go over that in detail when we get there. So we look at the 24-hour volume, and what we clearly see is for the past few days, it was a decline in volume, right? We were slowly declining from, you know, like 8.7, 5.3, 6.2, 6.4, 5.9, 6.4. And yesterday's sell-off volume was pretty large, but because this happened in the past 12 hours, we see a massive uptrend right here. You know, I was actually really worried when I was sleeping today because on my phone, I actually did not enable my Bitcoin Checker app. I use an app called Bitcoin Checker just on my Android phone there, right? That I use specifically to check prices. It's not a phone that has 2FA or anything on it. It's specifically just for like surfing around or whatever, kind of like a tablet, right? So I did not enable like the on, so it wasn't actually updating the price unless I manually refreshed it. So it was like basically stuck between, you know, 7,000, like it was stuck at $7,900. So I was getting really worried, right? I was like, wow, what is going on? Then when I actually woke up, do you guys hear my dog barking? She probably sees a squirrel outside right now. So when I finally enabled the app for it to do the automatic updates, rather than me doing it manually, it refreshed and it was like $8,250. I was like, oh, okay, this makes me feel a lot better, and this was much more anticipated. So we were at $6.4 billion yesterday with a massive sell-off volume, but today we're actually uptrending already to $7.5 billion. So the market cap gives us kind of a general idea, and the 24-hour volume of how interested the market is in these particular levels. So we're going to do a fairly detailed technical analysis just to catch you guys up. The market was definitely interested around the 7,600 range, which was a very good sign, right? So we're gonna do the bullish count and the bearish count that I've been talking about for a while, and I always admit when I'm wrong, okay guys? I always admit when I'm wrong, and clearly I was wrong earlier. So if we take a look at the bullish count here, the bullish count would have been something like that, okay? It would have been something like here where we did 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we would have had a double top with a B, or almost a double top with a B. And I thought that, hey, this could have been the beginning of an impulse wave going up. So then we were expecting to get some sort of waves going up like that, you know, just as an example, not exactly that price, but we were expecting some waves to go up like that with possibly a leading first wave diagonal that I was going to call it, but that didn't happen at all. And over time, I started to see many different formations that were happening, right? And clearly we ended up seeing a downtrend afterwards. So where are we right now in the structure? We're in the bearish count of mine, guys. We're in the bearish count of mine, which goes something like this instead. And I forgot to mention that this was waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just going upwards like that, right? And I kept saying to myself the entire time, guys, like, could this possibly be a bullish count where we get the 382 Fibonacci level, not even retraced to 382, which only happens 12% of the time, 12 to 15% of the time at 382, and about 7 to 10% at most at these specific 236 levels. So that wasn't really possible. And if you guys remember me around, like, you know, February 17 there, I just kept questioning it over and over and over. And unfortunately with Elliott wave, as you give it a little bit more time, when you see different wave structures form, you can easily deduce what is a proper count. So now we are left with this count right here. We're left with this count where we are basically targeting a double top here with a very truncated C wave going upwards like that. So because we ended up calling that our fifth wave, unfortunately we are left with some sort of ABC structure that I predict will go down to roughly $7,200, something like that. Now I'm just going to fool around and see what retracement that is. Well, that's around the 786 level right there, right? C has a high probability of hitting the 786 level for Bitcoin. It doesn't really do one-to-one extensions that often for specifically ABC, but we'll actually get there just to see how it's gone, all right? So just to follow up with people as well over here on a 3-hour chart, for example, where it's much more visible, this is how I always recommend playing this. And I'm going to explain this to you guys in high detail because I want you to be on the same level of understanding how these are played, okay? Now, actually, I'm gonna start it from the beginning. First of all, I'm going to introduce to you guys a rule called the rule of indifference of expression by Elliott Wave, okay? Pretty sure it's called the indifference of expression, right? Or it's called the difference in expression of an Elliott wave, something like that. So what the rule says is this, okay? If this wave 2 coming down, okay, only retraces a very small amount, such as the 382 level right there, then what we can easily project, guys, is that this specific wave 4 will retrace up to a territory of wave 1, because we have to follow and keep to these rules of ours that they do not overlap by more than a wick in a leveraged market, okay? So yes, it can overlap by a wick or maybe even 2, but they cannot completely overlap like that. It just does not happen when it comes to Elliott waves, okay? So we automatically assume that because our wave 2 retraced heavily, as we saw right here, okay, the wave 4 will do a much higher retracement and up to the 382 level, or sorry, up to the wave 1 level. So we can easily deduce that this right here was actually going to be a very reasonable play for us, okay? So we have to remember that. And now another rule to remember is how we short the market. For the people that are not familiar with what shorting the market is, shorting the market simply refers to betting against the market, betting that the market will actually go down. You remember in a long position, right? If you buy one Bitcoin at $11,000 and you're hoping that it goes up, that is called a long position. You sell it at $11,000 and you profit your $1,000 difference, right? I know that's very basic, but the definition of a short is much more complicated. And I'll break it down to as simple terms as I can. Shorting the market means that you're betting that the market goes down. So let's say you think that the market is going to go down when it's at $10,000. You short sell a position at $10,000, okay? And what you're basically doing is you're borrowing one Bitcoin from the exchange, okay? Wherever you trade, if they allow margin and shorting, you sell one Bitcoin after borrowing it from the exchange. And this is all behind the scenes. So now you have short sold one Bitcoin at 10K and you're hoping for the price to go down to, for example, $9,000, okay? Now, if you see the market go down to $9,000, right? Well, you technically borrowed one Bitcoin from the exchange. So you have to pay them back one Bitcoin, right? And all of these Bitcoin that you're entering your margin position from is from people like myself who contribute to the funding account, where we see a passive growth on our income with a very small interest. It could be something like 0.0175% a day or something like that. But yeah, they really do add up if you guys do end up adding to the funding account there. So then, because it has gone down to $9,000, you have now officially bought back one Bitcoin, for example, okay? So once again, you short sold at 10,000, and then you bought back this Bitcoin at $9,000. Because you have bought the Bitcoin at a lot cheaper, well, one Bitcoin that you borrowed is still one Bitcoin that you owe. So now you buy back your position at $9,000 for one Bitcoin, right? So you bought back one Bitcoin at 9K. It automatically goes back to the exchange, and now you've given back your one Bitcoin. But hey, guess what? You bought it $1,000 cheaper. So guess what your profit is? Your profit is $1,000. Does that make sense? So very quickly again, you have short sold your position at $1,000 or $10,000. You have bought back your Bitcoin at $9,000. You have paid back the exchange the one Bitcoin that you originally borrowed to sell, right? You now have bought it back $1,000 cheaper. And because you bought it back $1,000 cheaper, you actually profit the difference of $1,000, okay? So we need to understand this concept very, very clearly before we can enter in these type of short positions. So the way that we combine, so what we try to do as a trader, guys, is we try our best to do technical analysis, and we keep thinking of technical analysis as tools and weapons that we have, that we might use different ones in different circumstances. And the goal is to have a variety of these skills, okay? So imagine having tons of different skills as a technical analyst, and you might employ these different skills or weapons that or arsenals up your sleeve at different times. So when we gain more knowledge and more skills in general, we're able to employ different techniques in different circumstances. And that's very important to understand. So one technique that I use and theory that I use often, as you guys know, is Elliott wave. So it goes something like this that I'm talking about. What I usually do is I usually do this, okay? We have our waves 1 and 2 formed. Actually, I'm going to draw it like that. We have our waves 1 and 2 formed like that, okay? Now, we say to ourselves, okay, we want to enter a short position once we've confirmed the downtrend. Once this starts to break down like that, for example, right? We say to ourselves, if it actually breaks below this specific structure right here, we will enter a short position. Okay, we will enter a short position. And now, how far will it go? There are two different targets that I usually use, okay? First target will be a one-to-one extension. Sometimes it doesn't get there, guys. Sometimes it actually gets much lower to the 11618 region. But in a lot of cases, you would end up taking your profit near the one-to-one extension right there. And the reason why, excuse me, the reason why it likes to hit this specific target first is because wave 1 is usually shorter than wave 3. We like to follow the rule that wave 3 is often the longest and never the shortest, which means that wave 3 can be longer than wave 1 but shorter than wave 5, or wave 3 can be longer than wave 5 but shorter than wave 1. So it's basically just saying that wave 3 is never the shortest. That's why they say it is often the longest but never the shortest. So after, you short your position right here, basically, right? You short your position right there. You set yourself a stop loss slightly above this wave 1 territory because it now acts as a resistance. And now you target the one-to-one extension. And then if it bounces off of there, we get a slight bounce up here, right? And then on the breakout down right there, sometimes people will short it as well. So now you're entering another short position on the breakout below here. And that's where you target the 161.8 Fibonacci level. So I just wanted to be very clear about this because I've been talking about it many times, and I talk about it because I want you guys to succeed, and I want you guys to understand a very specific strategy that I use. So now we're looking here, okay? Let's say that we call this our wave 1. Actually, let's clear all this up and actually do it in detail. So now with Elliott wave combining these different tools and weapons that we have, what we see right here is we see waves 1 and 2. So we say to ourselves the same thing. If this ends up breaking below this line right here, we are going to short the market, right? We're going to short the market, and this right here was a very strong short, if you guys notice. People shorted it hard. That's why we see this massive volume spiking downwards, because people entered shorts. Now, where are they going to go, guys? Do you guys remember the target? If you guys said one-to-one, perfect, right? And what we notice is it just grazes the one-to-one extension right there, okay? It just grazes it. So wave 3 has now officially met our criteria of it being the longest so far and never the shortest. And boom, it actually ends up going upwards. Do you guys remember the rule of difference in expression according to Elliott? It's called the difference or indifference of expression. I can't remember the exact name. I'll look it up sometime later. So now what we see is if this wave 2 right here retrace only slightly, right, which is only to 236, what we easily say is that this wave going upward is going to retrace much more than 236. And what we see is that it actually just grazes the 0.5 Fibonacci level right there, right? Just grazes it. So the target, when you enter a short position, Luna's going nuts if you guys see her. There's this squirrel that I'm actually at my folks, right, for about a week or so. Sometimes I just hang out here because it's home, you know. So there's this squirrel that Luna's in love with here, right? That always shows up once in a while. And whenever Luna sees it, she just grows crazy. I can't even imagine what she would do with a squirrel sometimes. So now we're going to go down. Right, so because I would recommend people always take some profit at the end of wave 3, okay? Always take like half of your profit or a quarter or 3/4, whatever you guys are comfortable with. And then because we can easily target some Fibonacci level around here, we would just add more to our short position. Or you can also short more on the breakout depending on what your comfort level is, right? So personally myself, I ended up adding a lot more to my short positions, right, when it's near the top, because I'm a confirmational player. But of course, when I'm certain of a downtrend, what I'll end up doing is adding a lot more to my short position at the top over there. So then you target here from your first waves 1 and 2, and then target here for your wave 3, add more on your short position for wave 5, and then you target a simple 1618 extension right there. Makes sense, right guys? Right? Makes sense. Okay. Great. Now that we have confirmed that this right here is now waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What we are going to call this right here is our simple A, B, and our C structure in there. All right. So that's now our ABC structure. And now I personally believe that we are going to do something like this right here. We're going to do waves 1. We are going to do pretty much waves 2 right there, okay? This is pretty much wave 3. Wave 4 will go to roughly, I'm hoping, like 9,500 at most. Realistically, anywhere between, 93.50 to 85, 80, I'm going to say it again, 83.50, which is pretty much hitting our first target, to roughly 85.50 or something like that. And then I think that we're going to end up downtrending to about 7,200 right here, okay? 7,250 we'll say. And if you guys have been following my steemit posts, we've actually hit my first target already. Now I want to explain to you guys how Elliott waves work with waves in between, okay? So in between are the waves, right? We get 5 coming down. I'm just going to show you guys in very high detail. We get 5 waves coming down always, guys, okay? It's always going to be 5 waves coming down. They impulsively move. Don't ever forget that. 5 down. And on the third wave, there's 5 waves as well coming down. Okay. Just something like that. And then we get A, B, C. Like this. Like that. Okay. So this makes an A, B, C. This is just a general structure of how Elliott waves work. All right, and I'm going to post this as well so everybody really understands it. So I'm going to delete some of this here for you guys, and I'm going to show you guys how this target was actually extrapolated. So there were 2 different ways, well actually 1 main way. I want to show you guys how we blew, first of all, through this fib level, right? I'm going to show you guys how we blew through this fib level right here, which was actually sad that the 618 Fibonacci level didn't quite hold there, right? We broke through it by a wick, which is great, right? If you guys take a look very closely, we broke through it just by a wick, and it's holding, but the question is, for how much longer will it hold, okay? So the daily candle is looking really good so far with the Dragonfly Doji, and we'll go over the technical analysis for the candlestick and price action in a little bit. But for now, let's focus on this right here. So we expected this level right here to hold, okay? The 8,200 range, but this did not hold right there at all. And how were we able to extrapolate this target? We took our Fibonacci extension tool right here, okay? We extrapolated by doing that right there. So this fib level right here simply did not hold, okay? That is how we were able to extrapolate this specific target. I want you guys to know that right here. I'm going to highlight it in here, waves 1 and waves 2, okay? We were able to extrapolate it from these points right there. I hope that makes sense to everybody, where we take waves 1 and 2, and that created the lower barrier for our support range right there. That's how I was able to literally nail 100% with accuracy. It was almost down to the dollar that it was going to bounce from those specific regions right there. So make sure you guys understand this right here, okay? That the 0.6 fib level at 8,200 did not hold, right? But how did we nail this 7,600 target? We nailed it because we took our fib extension from waves 1 and 2 indicated above, which allowed us to get two projections. One was the 1-to-1, which didn't hold, and the second one was the 1-6-1-8. And that's why I mentioned earlier that it was a very likely possibility for us to bounce off of this region right here, okay? Now the next fib level range that we see, actually I'll get over that in detail. Now we're going to go over the same rules, guys. We're going to keep practicing until you guys understand, okay? There's always 5 waves coming downwards like this. 5 waves coming down like that. The third wave always moves impulsively down, where we're getting 5 waves coming down here like that, okay? And now the third wave, it's very predictable most times. Most of the times, it just ends up making like a fib extension level of 1-to-1 and 1-6-1-8. Now, let me explain to you guys how it's done one more time, okay? One more time as a lesson. So we take waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like that, okay? Now we're going to take our fib extension, and as soon as waves 1 and 2 form, we take our wave 1 extension to about the 100 level. Right here, we use this as a hard resistance always. And then we target the next level of the 1-6-1-8. So what we're basically doing, I'm just going to write this out in detail, is when this line breaks, you short the market, short position, entered when we break this support on the way down to wave 3, okay? So short this position when it breaks down right there, okay? And then you target a 1-to-1 extension. Target a 1-to-1 extension for your first target, and target a 1-6-1-8 extension for your second target. And I'm going to write this down for you guys to remember as well, and it'll be on my steemit blog. Target 1-to-1 for first target, and the next one is target 1-6-1-8 to 1, right, for second target. Okay, this is very important to understand. This is how we play all the time. And I'm just going to make sure I post this on steemit for you guys as well. So now you guys have a clear idea of how that is, right? Let's put that practice into theory, or theory into practice again, okay? I'm just going to show you guys one more time because it's important for us to be able to decipher this part right there, which we're going to go over in detail. I'm going to show you guys how accurate this is, okay? Just to show you guys again, right? So we target a 1-to-1 extension on the way down, okay? Target 1-to-1 extension. We short it right here always, okay? On the break of wave 1, actually I'll show you guys right here. On the break of wave 1, short it right here. So you guys need to remember this if you're going to be a trader. This is what lets you kill the market, all right? Target a 1-to-1 extension for your first target. Target your second one for your second target, like that, all right? It goes something like that. I'm just gonna turn this around here so you guys can see. Okay, I'm gonna write here for you guys. You short the market, short position, enter short position when this support breaks. Okay, when this support breaks, you enter a short position, and here you target 1-to-1 extension. One extension. Consider taking some profit, right? Consider taking your profit right there. And then what you do, I should have done this ahead of time, but it's really hard to, guys, so I'd rather just do it on the fly. I hope you don't mind. I know you guys don't mind. It's helping you to make money, right? It's helping you definitely make money. Consider adding more to your short position right there. Consider adding more to short position on wave 4. Consider adding more to short position, or house money, since you took some profit, at wave 3, right? Target a short position between 0.32 to 0.618 fib level. Ladder the shorts, right? So that's how you do that right there. And I'm talking about the fib level of here, okay? I'm talking about the fib level of this wave right there, okay? Which is basically, you know, right in there. And I'm gonna just make an arrow so you guys understand it. I'll try to keep this as clean as I possibly can, right? And then you finally, actually, I'm gonna actually number these for you guys to make it very easy to understand. So you enter your short position when this support breaks, okay? 2, target 1-to-1 extension, consider taking them profits. 3, you consider adding more to your short position or house money since you took some profit at wave 3. Target a short position between 382 to 618, right? And then 4 is right here. Whoops, where did my chart go? There we go. I don't know. I think I deleted it by accident. And then 4 right here. Actually, I gotta redo this for you guys. Okay, this will all be in my steemit. The goal of all of my content, guys, is to just try to get you guys to learn. And you gotta keep in mind that it's like it's benefiting me as well. You know, when I reiterate what I know, it also reinforces what I know a lot more as well. So in a way, we're helping each other. If I can help try to teach what I know, it's also going to make me a better trader because it keeps reinforcing it over time. Target 1. I was thinking what I was going to say. 0.1618 to 1 as target 2. Close short position here. Right? That's how you do it. That's basically how you do it. Right there, guys. So this makes entire sense, right? If you guys take a look at here, I'm just going to post this on my steemit very quickly. I'll be right back here. There's a lot of work to make these videos and to post on steemit, but I just got to be very thorough. So I think you guys get how to play this structure by now. I've been talking about it a lot, right? So now we're going to actually go to an even more detailed structure, okay? I'm going to go to another structure where I want you guys to also focus, and I want you guys to really learn how to play this. I'm just going to jumble them all up here so I don't have to rewrite everything. This will actually be a lot better. So now we're going to go to like a 1-hour chart, for example, and we're going to do the exact same thing, okay? So now we're going to draw our 1-to-1 extension, okay, on the beginning of the breakout right here. This part right here, I'd say the breakout is more so around right there. So let's see where we can actually end up getting, okay? Just right around here. This could be a little bit higher, I believe. Just right there. Let's go to right there, roughly. Actually, let's start the breakout right here, okay? Let's just consider the breakout right here at the EMA. The breakout officially began, right? Breakout officially began right here, okay? So this is where we would consider where the breakout began at the 55 EMA, where it begins the downtrend. So I'm just going to make a note on here. This is where the downtrend began under the 55 EMA. Okay, which is where we begin our fib extension. All right. So now I'm going to draw in my waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well right here. Waves 1, 2. Okay. This is basically 3 pretty much right there. That's 4 and that's our 5 right there. Okay. So I'm going to draw this green box right there as you guys see, and right here where we hit both targets. So now 1 is where we enter our short target when it breaks this right here, right? Right here. Same thing as last time as well. It's lesson time, guys. Right there, okay? Now number 2, target 1-to-1 extension right over here, right? This is our second point, right? And then consider adding more to your short position right up around here, right? Right around there, which is right around this range, okay? I'm just going to draw an arrow so you guys understand it. So to consider adding more to your short position or house money since you took some profit at wave 3. Target a short position between 0.382 to 0.618 fib level. Ladder those shorts, right? Ladder those shorts. And then finally 4 is right here where you actually target 1618 as target 2, then you close your position right there. Isn't that crazy, guys? How we're basically doing the exact same thing over and over? It's really not that surprising, is it? So I really hope that you guys are starting to understand how simple this really was. You know, like when you guys are become a more experienced trader, you develop these routines that it's like second nature, where you don't really have to think about it a lot. You come up with a bunch of strategies and they work, and when they work, it's like, okay, we're just gonna stick to the same strategies and we're just gonna go over them over and over and over and over and over and over again until we actually hit it. So unfortunately, I have to believe that we've got one more wave coming down, guys. I also want to explain something to you guys about head and shoulders, okay? Now, I've been making this joke on Twitter, and I hope you guys understand my sense of humor. So first of all, this peak right here is $11,788, okay? 11,788, 11,788, okay? This peak over here is 11,700, all right? 11,700. You do not call this a head and shoulders, guys, okay? Do not call this a head and shoulders. Please do not call it a head and shoulder, and I will explain to you why you should not call this a head and shoulder, okay? You don't call this a head and shoulder because this point right here is 11,788. And then this point right here is 11,700. By definition, the shoulder should be higher than the head. Have you guys ever seen a person with their left shoulder higher than their head in real life? No, you haven't. So also use common sense, where if this was a head and shoulder, okay guys, make sure that your left shoulder is not higher than your head, because anything can look like any pattern if you guys are grasping on straws enough. But because this is clearly a higher left shoulder than the head, please remove the thought that this is a head and shoulder. This was just coincidence, guys, that it bounced over there, okay? Coincidence because of a trend line. That's it. It's just a trend line that ended up bouncing around that range, okay? So make sure you guys are understanding very thoroughly that that's not a head and shoulders. This is a trend line, okay? So I'm going to draw my trend line like that. I'm going to now take my Fibonacci level, okay? I'll take my Fibonacci level right here. We're doing pretty good right now. I made a live trading video. I closed my position a little bit too early. I could have made myself another $400, but whatever. I don't really care sometimes. So then the way I'm going to see this is waves 1, 2, 3. I think we're going to get to about 8,500 roughly, okay? Maybe at most we'll get to 8,500. And then we're going to get our final touch somewhere at the 8,200. Actually, I want to draw this a little bit better, okay? I want to draw it something like that, perhaps, all right? Something like maybe like that. I just wanted to make sure that some of these are considered bull trapped regions. You know, maybe something like this, all right? So that's how I think it's going to be. I just think there's going to be a lull there. A lull for a while, and then we'll eventually get down, you know, in a few days. There, that looks a lot more reasonable to me. It's almost grasping on straws, honestly, drawing this trend line right here. But I really do believe we're just going to puncture it a little bit around this specific range, just like that, okay? Now, I'm going to remove this trend line because it's a very contentious issue to me, and I don't believe it's even going to act as anything right now. Like, yeah, nothing relevant. So this is where I project our next target to be, all right? I project this target as well simply because I'll show you guys why. I project these specific targets because of two reasons. One, this is where the 78.6 Fibonacci level is, right, altogether. And two, if we take our A, B, and we take our C, this is the double correlation method. That's basically confirming it right now, all right? We have two Fibonacci levels right there, 1 and 2. We have the major Fibonacci level. I'm going to write it down here, okay? We have a major Fibonacci level, major Fibonacci of all waves 1 to 5, 0.786, right? And we also have our A, B, and C extension from A to B and to C right there, okay? Right there. And I'm gonna draw this in for you guys as well. So this right here is our major Fibonacci extension at that level, and we also have an extension, AB Fib extension of 0.786. Double correlation method right here. Therefore, I cannot help but think that the AB extension is going to hit 786 levels, right? It almost makes sense to me entirely. So I'm just going to copy and paste this as well for you guys on my Twitter there. I'll be back in a sec. So this makes a lot of sense, right? That where we are getting these possible supports there. Once again, this is our major Fibonacci of waves 1 to 5, okay? Waves 1 to 5, where I should probably draw it in here for you guys as well. Waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and waves 5 like that, right? Now this should make a lot of sense right here, okay? This is a lot better to see it like this. So does that make sense, guys? I want to be very clear why there's still one more wave coming down, okay? Because we only see waves 1, 2, 3. We don't have a fourth wave completed yet, and we're still waiting for our fifth wave sometime, okay? And we take our major Fibonacci of all waves, 0.786. That's what this point is at right now, okay? 786, right around there. Okay, that's our major waves 1 to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which reaches 0.786 right here. And we also take AB fib extension of 0.86, which makes entire sense, guys. It honestly makes so much sense to me for reasons why we're going to hit these targets, all right? Now we're going to talk about the specific structure that we're in right now, and let's see if this could actually offer anything here, right? If we take our fib extension level right here, what we see is it's almost guesstimating as well, right? I think we're going to hit slightly below the 78.6 level, right? 78.6 level right here, where this one made a really good retracement as well to the 7,665. So the next one, I would probably project it like I always do, slightly lower than the 78.6 region as well, which usually ends up hitting my mark, right? Yeah, so that is a really good extension as well, just from what I normally do for my day-to-day routine. So let's break this down and talk about our candles for the day. What we're seeing is not a bullish candle anymore. It is bullish, okay? It is very bullish, don't get me wrong, but now we've changed from a green candle, which could have been a really beautiful dragonfly doji, to pretty much one of these candles here, which is more a red dragonfly doji. Green would be a lot better. If we look at the daily chart, RSI, we're actually still trending downwards, guys. But the good news is that over time, it will curve, right? We have it trending like that. And what we want on the RSI is for it to bullishly start to diverge in an arc kind of way. So we see it going like that, which changes its angle now. And eventually, we'll see it going like this, guys. And eventually, it ends up making a bunch of different curvatures like that, okay? And then it goes upwards, right? So we can definitely see the RSI coming down right now. It's still losing a lot of steam. It's got no steam to go up. The MACD is still coming downwards as well. If we look on the 12-hour chart, right, you know, we're not really gaining any type of bullish momentum yet. We need to have one more major peak down, in my opinion. We look at the MACD, it's still on its way down. Absolutely, it's on its way down, guys. That was a really big downtrend, but the 12-hour candle, we're showing a doji candle there. But if we look on the 12-hour, guys, it's clear as day. Clear as day, I want to say that there's only, how many waves, guys? Count the waves with me, right? There's only 4 waves. Where's the 5th wave? I need to be convinced. And there needs to be 5 solid waves until we actually get a confirmation on the downtrend. We get a beautiful bullish engulfing candle right here, but now we're getting a more indecision candle at the top here, which is like a bearish spinning top, okay? So now we still see it kind of curving down, but I think that the 4-hour candle will be the one that will end up upticking slightly, if even, right? We see the bullish engulfing candle with the bearish spinning top here, followed by more indecision, almost a tweezer. Very lucky we didn't get a tweezer because that would have been massive. We'd start to see a hanging man candle. Right here it showed indecision. Here it showed even more indecision, where the bulls were starting to lose control at the 21 or 13 EMA. And here we get a hanging man candle where the bears have decided to try to push the market down, but we rebounded. Lots of strength for the bulls, decent strength for the bulls. Bulls are losing control. Now the bears have officially taken over for the very short term, or not taken over rather, but they've said that, you know what, people are starting to sell off right now. we see this huge bearish engulfing candle right there, which didn't even get close to the 21 EMA, really got rejected already, okay? And now what we're seeing is a series of rejection to the downside right there, okay? So we're finding some decent and solid support at the 79.41 region. Now you guys remember how ABC is seen, right? You guys remember exactly how ABC is seen. This is a possible, you know, waves 1, 2, like that, 3, 4, and 5. And what we are waiting for is an ABC to complete, guys. We're waiting for an ABC to complete, most likely around these regions right here, in my opinion, okay? It'll be most likely wave 1 region, right there, where we're going to find 2 large zones of resistance right here. Right there, okay? Wave 1, these zones right here will act as a major resistance, okay? You guys see what I'm talking about? These zones will act as a major resistance. I cannot see it getting higher than around 85, 8600, guys. I simply do not see it getting higher than that, okay? Just want to be very clear about that. So this is basically my general target, okay guys? We hit already our first target bounce at 83.68, if you guys saw it, right? Now my next possible target is literally right here, and I don't see it getting higher than that. These specific points right here, these specific, I'm writing it in specific points, will act as a major point of resistance. So I just want to be very clear about that, okay guys? You know, I could be entirely wrong. Don't get me wrong, right? Don't get me entirely wrong. It's not like I'm you know, gonna always be right? I just want to always make points of that as well, that I'm not always going to be right, but we tried our best to do technical analysis based on what we see, right? It's almost like throwing spaghetti at the wall. Sometimes it's going to stick. You know, my 8200 didn't stick at all, right? It didn't stick at all. But I'm going to talk more about that in just a few minutes there. So this is a really valid point to be making as well, okay? So let's see if we can break this into high detail for why this could actually be a target hit. And let's see if we can actually get very, very close in a micro detail and see what's going on, all right? Let's see if we can actually count 5 possible waves so far, okay? I'm just trying to see if it's even possible to count it. Well, we see, first of all, waves 1, right? 2, we see 3, 4, and we see 5, which could actually be A right here. Does that make sense? It could possibly be A right here, just going upwards, okay, like that. That could easily well be A. You guys hear Luna barking? She's so awesome. I love Luna. So this could be waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just coming down like that, okay? Waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where we see, I could be entirely wrong. Please, please, please understand that, guys, right? And I do possibly expect another target hit somewhere, you know, down over here, I'm guessing, where this is now going to make the ABC, just as an example, okay? A, you know, B, and then this could be a C, just to give you guys a brief idea of how it could possibly end up trending. Right? Just an example, keep in mind, just an example, guys. This is not set in stone. Just as an example of how it could possibly go. Maybe we'll end up getting, you know, another wave to somewhere down over here, right? And then a possible C wave could end up finishing all the way up there. So this is what we're looking for and hoping for to finish this ABC formation, all right? And this is going to be the next possible target range right around these regions. And where was it again? I'm gonna write it in here, right here. So this is a possible range right in here. So we hit the target up here already, right? This was the first target hit right here, which was very expected from my technical analysis earlier. Target of 8,368. Hit. So I'm just gonna write first target, actually. First target. I just apologize for doing this in front of you guys, but you know, I don't want to pause the video and resume it and stuff all the time. So this is a likely possibility as well. And then after that, we downtrend. And then after that, major downtrend begins. And from here, possible major downtrend begins. And from here, major, possible major, I always write possible major downtrend begins. So just to break it down for you guys like that. So this kind of wraps up my technical analysis for the afternoon. It was kind of long and very detailed. So yeah, I think we've accounted for everything already. But another possible path, right? If we're already done for some reason, okay? Just in case that we are actually done the uptrend already, or we could even begin our complete downtrend already. So, you know, like, we never ever know, right? Just based on how things are going. But if we look on a very low time frame, like we see it losing steam here already, right? We see it losing steam here already, where it just can't really tick up to a higher histogram. On the 30-minute, are we losing steam here as well? No, we're getting a little bit of steam, but you know, right here, it's not really wanting to go up very positively. So I do expect it to come down eventually, but you know, before we hit, not till before we hit around 84, 85, almost 9600 range. So anyways, I hope that this has helped you guys. As always, my goal is to make you guys into better traders. Actually, you know what? I'm lying. The goal is to make you guys such a good trader and to be super rich over time that eventually I'm going to get a 33-foot yacht from you guys. You guys have seen my steemit joke, right? Please enjoy my 24 free tutorials over 35 hours, and please remember me if you become incredibly successful in the future. Please buy me a 33-foot yacht, right? So that's, oh sorry, feet yacht. That is the truth. I want you guys to be incredibly wealthy. I want you guys to change your lives. I want you to learn a lot of technical analysis. And over time, guys, if you guys are incredibly successful, maybe you'll remember Mama Whale. And if you remember Mama Whale, maybe you guys will buy me something like, I don't know, like a McLaren like 720S, like my friend just bought, Nick in Vancouver. He just got his 720. Actually, I don't know if it was delivered already. It should probably be there like early April. Maybe you guys can buy me a $250,000 car. Or maybe you guys can buy me like a 33-foot yacht. They go for about $15 million. So my goal is actually very selfish, as altruistic as you guys think that I am. I just want you guys to remember me. I'm just joking, guys. I'm joking or not joking. But even if that wasn't a joke, that's actually a funny joke, isn't it? Right? Is it really selfish? Is it really selfish? Not really, because if you guys actually got yourselves into a position where you can afford a $250,000 car and you remembered me, it's a win-win situation. So in the end, we're all winning. Does it really matter, right? You guys know me. My sense of humor is completely over the top. So if you guys love these videos that I'm making, just remember to upvote it on steemit, like, subscribe, share it to the content as well. If you guys have killed it in the market lately, I mean it. If you guys have absolutely killed it, donate to the cryptocurrency piggy bank for Luna and I. But we accept a minimum donation. Yes, there's a minimum donation of 5 Litecoin. Okay? No, I'm just kidding. A minimum donation of 10 Bitcoin, actually. 10 Bitcoin and 10 Litecoin. That's just a joke. Other than that, have yourselves a great day, guys. Don't ever feel obligated to donate anything. Only if you want to buy me a small lunch to say thank you or buy me a drink, and that is it. Other than that, have yourselves a fantastic day, and I look forward to helping you baby whales later. So have yourselves a great day, baby whales, tiny dolphins, and mini little penguins. May you march safely in the market of the cryptocurrency world. Bye now.